Hello guys. So this is ServiceNow core session, and here I'm covering I will be talking about the topic business rules, and this is part one of business rules. So um, and this is covering ServiceNow core session. So in ServiceNow core session, I will be covering all the technical concepts of ServiceNow platform. Okay, so if you're working or maybe if you're planning to work on ServiceNow, then your concepts should be very much clear. If your concepts are clear, then it would be very easy for you to work on ServiceNow. And if you are appearing for interviews, then there could be the questions maybe asked from these concepts, and you can easily crack the interviews if your concepts are very clear. Okay, so let's talk about business rules. So here I will be covering these topics. So these are the topics which we will be discussing under this session. So first of all, what is business rule? And what are the significant use of business rule in ServiceNow? And then we will discuss about types of business rule. Okay, what are the different types through which we can use business rule on the system, on the platform? And then configurations used in business rule. So what are the key configurations which we use in our daily practice in ServiceNow as part of business rule? So then first let's discuss the point one by one. So first, what is business rule? So business rule is nothing but your server side or server side logic which runs in the backend. Okay, and when it runs, so whenever you are storing an data to the tables. So either it executes before or either it executes after. So whenever you are playing with data and you want some part of logic to be executed during that time, then business rule comes into the picture. Okay. Um, and what is basically the role of ServiceNow is it's just about data and tables and the configurations on those. Okay. So if we see a short picture of ServiceNow, it's just data table and configurations. So that means whatever logic if you're executing, if you want to execute your logic at the time of data, either storing before or after you want to execute your logic, then it is that logic is business rule. Okay, so let's talk about types of business rule. So what are the different types of business rule? So different types of business rule is nothing but first is before business rule, second is after business rule, third is async business rule, and then fourth is display business rule. These are basically four types of business rules. The other tricky part of business rule is that is not the particular type, but you can call it as a type. That tricky part is query business rule, and we usually use the query business rule as a part of before business rule. Okay, so that part I will describe you later. The query business rule is you could say that that is just a different type of business rule. I will describe you what is particular query business rule, what is how we can use it, what is the significance that I will describe you in one of my later video. Okay. So first let's talk about the primary four types of business rules. Okay. So I will move to my next slide to describe you these four types. So on my screen you are seeing a diagram. Okay. This diagram I have prepared for you guys uh, so that I can describe you in a better way, so that you can understand in a better way. So basically on my screen you can see these are the four types which I just told you. Before BR means business rule. Okay. So before BR, after BR, and then async BR, and then display BR. These four types which I told you, these are the four primary types of business rules. Now let's talk about how these are related, or so I prepared this diagram so that it is very much clear for you, and you can compare simultaneously what is the differences between these business rules. Okay, because that is very important for you to understand if you are working on business rules, which business rule is running when. Okay, and that is the most important part, trust me, that which business rule is triggering at what time. If you know this, then you easily can understand in which scenario which type of business rule can be used. Okay, and in interview as well, uh, these are the, it's 98% that interviewer would ask you question about the business rule, and if you understand when which business rule triggers when, then you can easily answer every scenario, every kind of scenario in interviews or in your real time practice. Okay, so let's talk about before BR. So suppose this is our incident form. Suppose if we open any incident record, so whenever you open incident record, one form gets opened, right? So this is your incident form. Now, if you are inserting any incident, or if you are updating any incident, then either you submit a new record here, or you save the update on the incident form. Okay, let me bring one marker for you guys to understand. Some highlighter. Okay, so yeah, so incident form. So basically, so either you are submitting any record or you are inserting any record. Sorry, if either you are inserting any record or you are updating any record. So this is your incident form. Okay, now when before BR runs, so as soon as you submit the record or submit the update on the record, okay, when you submit the update or submit the record, it will go to database. Okay, it will go to database, and before submitting to database, this is database. Suppose this is database, that means this is table where we are storing data. So before going to database, before storing the data to database, the before BR triggers. Okay, and now once your data is submitted to table, after that, after BR triggers. Okay, and when async, so async BR also triggers at the same time. Your data is stored on the table, and after that async BR triggers. The difference between async and after, the difference between these two BR is the trigger point is same for both these BRs. The only difference is this async BR runs asynchronously. Async means asynchronously. What is asynchronous means? This BR runs on different thread. Okay, and this BR runs on same thread. That means when your record is updated, as soon as your record is updated or inserted, it again reloads the form. So you submit the incident, and again it reloads with the new data. The form reloads with the new data. So that means that this after BR runs immediately after record is submitted to table, and then before reloading of form it runs. So it runs after the table but before reloading. Okay, so it first completes the execution and then it reloads the form. Okay, and but that in async BR that case is different. The record is submitted, the form loaded completely. The reload of the form does not wait for the async BR to complete. Okay, it is in progress in the backend. Okay, it might be in progress in the backend, but the form reloads on the front end side. Okay, so these BRs are the trigger point. So basically the trigger point for these two, after and async, is same. The only difference is the after BR will, after the reload of the screen, reload of the form will wait for after BR to be completed, but in async case it will not wait, it will reloads and in the backend it continues to be executing. Okay, and before BR is executed before storing to table. Okay, after BR is after submitting to table but before reloading the form. Then display BR runs whenever you open any incident form. Okay, whenever you open any incident form, suppose there is a list of incidents, suppose this is the list of incidents, there are n number of incident records are there. Okay, so you pick the first one and open the first incident record. As soon as you open the first incident record, as soon as the form loads, then it runs. So it doesn't matter whether you are updating any record or you are inserting any record, it runs whenever you open any record. So if even if you are not updating anything, as you open the record, it runs immediately. Okay, so these are the four primary types of business rule and these are the definitions. Okay, so the important part is only the trigger point of the business rule, that is the important part, that's all. So before BR runs uh, after submitting the form but before table. Okay, after and async BR triggers after submitting to table but before reloading to form. Display BR runs before loading of the form. Okay, I hope this is clear to all. I'm just erasing whatever markers I have done here. Okay, so this is the diagram I prepared to make the things very clear. Okay, so let's move to the third point, configurations used in business rule. Now I will show you the common objects, what are the configurations appears on the business rule form. Okay, so now I will go to my PDI instance and I will go to business rule, just search business rules. So if you are very new to ServiceNow, I'm just describing each and every step. Okay, so I will for now I will just open this new. I don't want to open existing business rule because if you, I think some of you, if you are very new to ServiceNow, then you might get confused. I want to keep it simple. So this is how the business rule form looks like. Okay. So here name, you can give any meaningful name, that doesn't matter. Table, on which table you want to execute. For now, I am putting incident only. Suppose I want to execute it on incident. Now here you see there is when to run action, when to run tab. Okay. You can see the actually the fields. If you observe that fields are very limited visible here. So if you select this advanced checkbox, then only the advanced fields are visible. So mostly we select to make the business rule useful, we mostly select this advanced checkbox, and when you check, you can see now you observe that there are other fields appear on the screen or on the form. So here you can see that the four primary types of business rules before, after, async, display, which I had described in the diagram. Okay. Before, after, async, display, these are four types. You can select whenever you want to execute which type of business rule you want to create. You can select it from here. Then here some checkboxes are there. This tells you when you want to execute your business rule. Suppose if you want to execute it when you are inserting any new record, then you can select this. Or if you want to execute it only on update, not on insert. Okay, or if you want to execute, if you are deleting any record, if you want to execute your logic at that time, then you can select this delete checkbox. And this is what the extra type which I was talking about, the query. So it always prefer to be used along with before. Okay, so we call it as a before query business rule. So this is a little bit different type. I will tell you more into this in my other video, in my upcoming video. But for now, I'm not focusing more on query one. Then here filter conditions, you can apply the filter conditions. What is this filter conditions? Basically, this is useful if you want to apply your business rule on particular records only, not all records. So suppose, let me open the incident list to describe this. Suppose, wait a minute. Suppose this is my incident, okay? Now I want to write a business rule, but that business rule should be applicable only for software. So in category, there you can see that software, inquiry, health, or maybe hardware. Yeah. But I want to execute a logic that applies only for software. Okay. In that case, if there is any restriction you want to put, you can put it here. Just put one condition, category is software. That's all. Then your business rule runs only for software records, not for all. Okay. Action set field values. Actually, this is just a direct configurations which ServiceNow is giving, which is set field values. Suppose on particular on incidents, I want to set a short description. Okay. Suppose this is running for insert for every new incident of software category. I want to populate short description with incident is raised for software, something like that, and any prefix if I want in short description I can put it here. Okay, so this you can directly set the fields through this configuration. If you want to add any message, about action means if on particular condition if you don't want to execute or if you revert your business rule. Okay, if you don't want to execute your business rule, don't want to execute means it is meeting the condition, but after that at some point of condition you want to abort your action on the business rule. Okay, so at that time it is useful. Then let's come to advanced. Advanced, this condition field is just an extra condition if um, some condition which is not directly be configured on fields. So in this Venturan condition, you can only bring the conditions on the fields of current table. So the fields which is available on this table, on incident table, the fields which is there on incident table, only those fields you can bring here and put the condition on that. But suppose if due to some other, if I want to put any other condition, suppose the caller of the incident. Okay, suppose I want to bring that this is incident record. The caller of the incident is should be VIP or the caller location is this XYZ. So now we are talking about callers, location or callers, VIP. Okay, so that those fields are not directly available on incident table. In that case, we can write a logic and put the condition here. Okay, this is we could say that this is an advanced condition. I will cover that part in later videos. For now, this is just an advanced or additional condition. Now the other remaining two things is there are two objects in business rule. First is current, second is previous. What is current object? Basically, uh, current and previous object are the objects of this of our table which we have selected here. So basically, if I want to get any value from any field, suppose um, on incident table, if I want to get a value of this category, suppose, okay, what is the value? I selected software, okay. So in my script, if I want that value, of category, what is the value of that category? So what I can do is I just write use the current is the object of my selected table. So current dot category, if I write, and if I store in some variable, so this is giving me the current record category. Okay, so suppose if I'm if suppose if my business rule is running on update, that means that I am running my business rule on update. So it is giving me, and if I'm updating this record, if I'm updating this record, then my this business rule runs because I'm updating it, I'm running it on update. So in at that time, it will bring me the current category value. That means it will bring me the software value. Okay, and if I want the value of short description, then I can just put current dot short underscore description. And this will give me the description value. So that's why it is the current object is used to fetch the value of the field which belongs to this table. Now what is previous? Previous is previous value. Basically, if I'm updating any, suppose if I'm updating um if I'm updating category value, okay, to network, and if I save my record, so basically through this previous object, I could get the previous updated value. So if I put previous dot category, that means through this I am getting the previous value which was previously updated, but it runs on the current thread only. So suppose on this record, if I updated category 3 4 times, suppose previously it was inquiry, then I updated to hardware, then I updated to, and it's not just that I am updating in one instance or one go. Actually, if I update inquiry and then save it, okay, and if I again update it to hardware and then save it, and if I again update to password reset and then save it, so saving the record, that means I have updated the category 3 times right now, okay, but it will not give me all the previous three values. It will give me only the current previous value. That means suppose if I am changing the category from password reset to software, and when I save this record, in my business rule, it will give me a current dot category. It will give me software because I'm making current value is software, and my previous value is password reset. So in my script, the previous dot category value give me the previous value, that was password reset. Okay, so current gives the current value, previous gives the previous value while I am updating the record. Okay, so I hope this video this is clear to you all. So in my upcoming video on I will be describing the business rules types uh, one by one with the real-time examples and the real-time differences. I will on the instance I will show create the business rule. I will show you what is the actual differences and what are the real-time how we use the business rules in real time and how the differences looks like in the real time. Okay, so just be in touch in my if you're very new to ServiceNow, then in my previous sessions, I have already covered a, I have created one ServiceNow basic session. Okay, where I have created all the topics which is very basic to ServiceNow. You can refer that. In the core sessions, I will bringing the concepts of ServiceNow, and I'm starting with business rules. So in my upcoming videos on business rule in part 2, I will be describing, as I said, one by one the types of business rule and the real-time examples. So be in touch. Please like and subscribe my channel, and keep looking to the videos to get updated. Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.